Summary: Cafe Lumiere is Taiwanese director Hou Xiaoshen's first film he has shot in Japan. This film was made in Japan, in Japanese, with Japanese characters and actors. This film marks the 100th anniversary of the birth of the great Japanese director Yasujiro Ozu. In addition, Hou Xiaoshen pays respectful homage to Ozu's Tokyo Story by incorporating his own observation and insights into the contemporary Japanese society. He transformed the universal themes of Ozu: family, love, time, generational gap, tradition into the modern days. Cafe Lumiere revolves around the struggling maturation of a Japanese reporter named Yoko who lives in Tokyo. She has just come back from Taiwan, currently researches on the life of a Taiwanese composer, Ji-Wang Wen-ye, and deals with an unexpected pregnancy. When Yoko suggests that she has no intention of getting married, her family is alienated and furious. During this period of hardship, a genuine friendship with the owner of the bookstore, Hajime, helps a lot in alleviating Yoko's feeling of isolation and loneliness. Gradually, Yoko started to re-evaluate and reflect her increasingly complicated life. Her true feeling and color begins to emerge. General structure: this film is more than a convenient reference to a personal experience and a cross-cultural display, followed by the linear, chronological continuity narration. By tracing the diegetic time of Cafe Lumiere, we discover the general structure of Yoko's seemingly uneventful daily activity, not only unmask the hints and the future of the young woman's desire in Tokyo, they also provide unique perspective into Hou Xiaoshen's revision of cinema and Japanese society. Throughout this film, it is quite significant that director used plenty shot of passing commuter trains as a transition to depict and capture Yoko's life. Structurally, the tremendous amount of train shot are the oil grease, the moving wheel of this film. They are not merely a public transportation or transitional technique. More importantly, they serve as the symbolism of a Japanese society, always on the road, always moving forward, the mirror of humans' interaction, intertwined, overlapped, intersected, and connected. The revelation of a relationship between the inescapable past, hesitant present, and the daunting future. Deep focus shot, a shot that keeps the foreground, middle ground, and the background all in sharp focus. Visually, Cafe Lumiere is full of what might be called multi-focus image. Hou will frequently show a scene in a long or medium long shot. The scene will be full of visual detail. The shot will be held for a long time. For example, a cityscape contains a simultaneous view of 4 different railway lines. Lockdown shot, a shot where the camera is fixed in one position while the action continues off-screen. One distinct feature that how Hou Xiaoshen cinematized the real life could be seen through his framing. Something noticeable about this film is actors are almost locked within the composition of the frame. The image of Yoko's stepmother working in the kitchen, tightly framed by the multiple doorways, highlights the constricting conventional role of a homemaker like Yoko. By choosing to have her child out of the wedlock, yearns to reject, and a scene in which the two women have to borrow sake and glasses from Yoko's next-door neighbor, a request that makes the stepmother but not Yoko feel ashamed, elucidates the widening generational gap between the girl and her parents. This shot basically says life is messy and uncontrollable. It cannot be contained by a camera. Tatami shot, one of the signature shots from Ozu's Tokyo Story, adopted by Hou Xiaoxian, the incredibly low-place camera. This technique is known as tatami shot. The significance and the function of this shot can be revealed by the scene that Yoko's parents, upset by her pregnancy, contemplating at a distance within the frame. The camera placement is so far away, manipulates the long diagonal to emphasize the depth of the field, to accentuate the alienation and the long-lost connection between Yoko and her parent. Tracking shot. This shot is the most prevalent throughout this film, using the voyeuristic perspective, and the combination of long shot, medium shot, and the tracking shot are implemented to follow the protagonist, Yoko's commuting route, transitioning from train to walking, and from walking to the train. Fade into the crowd as an individual, and fade out from the crowd as an individual. These intentional shots from various camera angles and movements are not only make Yoko this character relatable, but also designated to navigate the viewer to pull in and pull out of the storyline. The distance between Yoko and the viewer are meticulously measured by director's creative choice. Behind shot and frontal shot. In this film, when Yoko and her parents are eating at the restaurant, the director used the steady shot from their back without any facial expression or any kind of dialogue to amplify the latent and unspeakable tension among these three people on the subject of Yoko's pregnancy. In contrast, the frontal shot directly conveyed the emotion to the viewers when Yoko's parents visit her in Tokyo. On their way home together, the clear shot of their face heading towards the same direction, approaching closer to the screen, indicate a sense of unity, harmony, and peace. Panning. There are several continuous, consistent panning shots embedded into different scenes to portray the delicate relationship between Yoko and Hajime. For example, the scene at the coffee shop and the scene at Yoko's apartment. The director seamlessly to bring these two characters together using the panning technique to show a sense of warmth and connection within the shot, to underline their subtle affection between each other. Transition. Hou Xiaoxian's flair of editing and transition with the detachment of unity across various scenes have become one of his signature elements. He would shoot the natural landscape, interior of unrelated subject. In addition, instead of shooting where our protagonist Yoko is going, Hou would rarely shoot directly follows Yoko's point of view. He would shoot the area adjacent to where our character would be or use third-person POV to portray the scene, and then he would link the shot with certain object or emotion. This creates a very small but tangible world that the character inhabits and highlights the space that they live in. Empty rooms are often lingered on, whether it is a character about to enter or a character is about leaving. For example, father waiting at the train station scene, mother cooking scene, and the bookstore scene. All of these shots are well orchestrated and waiting for Yoko's arrival. Instead of using Yoko's perspective, this placement of shot gives the viewer a sense of uncertainty, curiosity, and initiative to navigate the narration with Yoko, being a participant, other than just an observer. Sounds. There are three distinctive notes of non-diegetic sounds throughout this film. They are all from Yoko's research subject, Taiwanese musician Ji Ye, and they are all piano playing. The first non-diegetic sound of piano playing in the background is when Yoko is in the coffee shop, signifying her inner self, accompanied with rainy theme to express her yearning for peace, acceptance, and self-expression. At an hour and 6 minutes, the non-diegetic sound of piano playing occurs again, but this time in a more suspenseful, horrific way. to accentuate the confusion and the insecurity of Yoko and Hajime. Yoko's nightmare of dreaming about a child face turning first crooked and then to ice. In the same time, Hajime's digital artwork of digital version of himself trapped inside the womb of the trains. With the help of this piano playing, we can both visually and sonically picturize the inevitable consequences of time's progression. In the end of this film, the light, upbeat, cheerful piano playing, accompanied with aspiring monologue, voice-over, and Hajime's persistent recording of train's noise, an attempt to sonically to capture the essence of life emotion, unmask the true intention of this film, disconnects from external chaotic environment, the revolution of Japanese society as a whole, which is the combination of bittersweet. We all evolve thanks to the rapid development of society, but also suffer the side effect it brings. Ultimately, it sublimes an understated, subtle metaphor for Ho's gentle, insightful, contemplative cinema.